Hi folks, it's Moz here, and today on the workbench I'm going to be looking through the latest addition to the Airfix Vintage Classic range. I have this RAF Rescue Launch. Now, announced in January that Airfix were putting 3 ships, or boats I should say, into the Vintage Classic range, and they were the Vosper MTB, the German E-boat, and this RAF Rescue Launch. And there's a lot of history here because they were basically tooled around the same time. So, looking at the history of this particular kit, it was first released back in 1978. Then, 2 years later, it was released again, they say it's a new box, but it is basically the same box art. And again, a year later in 1981. It kind of disappeared into the MPC range for a while, and then was released back in 1983, and this was the first time that they didn't use, and this was the only time that they didn't use this particular box art. They used the model built as the box art. Then it was not seen again for 21 years, and it was released in 2004. It was then released again in 2005, where it took a short break of 8 years and then was released 12 years ago in 2013. And now we're in 2025, and they've now put it in a new box and they've added it to what we call their Vintage Classics. Now, Vintage Classics are obviously old tooling, and they wanted, and this is Airfix by the way, they wanted to clearly show that there will be age to a kit. They didn't want to box it in their colours, so not to confuse anyone, and the best way forwards and just being open and honest was to bring out this Vintage Classic range. And to be really fair with you, it's very, very popular, because a lot of us remember building these kits back in the day. And when we go to find them and build them now, if we bought those kits, you know, that were manufactured, say, in the 80s, normally the decals will probably be foobarred. You know, they'll be yellowed, and they'll be brittle. And this way, you do have a kit with later plastic, which is what we use now, and the decals have been kind of redesigned and refreshed, but keeping to the original as closely as they can. I've done many Vintage Classic kits. If you want to go looking for the Vintage Classics I have unboxed, there will be a playlist available, and you'll be able to see that at the end of the video. But are you a fan of Vintage Classics? If you are, please let me know in the comments box below which ones you have built and have enjoyed, and maybe put down the ones that were, can I say, challenging. But anyways, before I jump into opening this box, can I ask a bit of a favor? If you're enjoying the content on this channel but are yet to be a subscriber, will you please consider becoming a subscriber? And it's free to become one. All you have to do is click subscribe, and if you ring that bell, click all, you will be notified when I release a new video. Win-win. Anyways, let's go onto the workbench and let's have a look at this kit. Oh, here we are. This is the Airfix Vintage Classics RAF Rescue Launch, 1/72 scale. If you want the code for it, it's A05281V. They are available on the Airfix website. So if you want to buy one, or your local model shop, let's say if you want to buy one from the Airfix website, the link is in the description box below. Now, box art, as with Vintage Classics, they always use the first edition. So this one here isn't Roy Cross. This one here is Jeff Hunt, and you can look in here. And I love this book. I need to update it really because this is quite old now. But if I go through the pages here, I've marked it up somewhere. There it is. You can see that launches and ships. 05281. So 05281, 1979, and you've got GH, which is Jeff Hunt. And if you look at the back, there you go. It says there clearly, GH is Jeff Hunt. So he was the artist for this, and he's done an extremely good job. You can see they're in a bit of a war there with some German and American planes there, and American. You got the turrets there firing at the plane there, so you know it's not been sanitized. It's a very focal war visual. This is for a box art. So there you are, Jeff Hunt. So and you probably never heard of him before either. So anyway, side of the box, you've got the warnings in different lingos, and it will tell you here that the Hornby design and tooling was from 1978, and the pack illustration was also 1978. Decal schemes and pack design is 2025. This side of the box, they're giving you 2 decal options or schemes. You've got the Type 2 Whaleback RAF Rescue Launch, 1944, and you've got Type 2 Whaleback RAF Rescue Launch from 1941. And the actual hull itself is standard 2 colours, the black and this red. I can't think what the red's called now, but we'll have a look at the instructions. It will tell us there. But on top, it will be like navy, like a deep grey and a yellow on top as well. So, but we'll look into that when we go into the box. It's got 155 pieces. Its length of it is 266 millimeters. Width of it is 70 millimeters. Does come with a stand, I believe. So you can have the boat upright, which is standard for a lot of Airfix kits anyway, like the lifeboat. They all come with some sort of stand. And yeah, it's a skill level 3, but you get 2 flying hours because it is a Series 5 kit, I think. Series 5? Yeah, Series 5. 05 is Series 5. Okay. And also at the edge of these boxes here, you've got the box art again to just prove what it is. So, top opening box, as is with all Airfix kits, and hopefully we will get 1 bag of sprues, we will get the instructions, we will get the decal sheet, and we will also get the colour callouts. Marvellous. Just quickly look at the colour callouts, because I said, you know, you're going to be needing whichever scheme you do, there's lesser paint required. So this is the British Powerboat Company Type 2 Whaleback RAF Rescue Launch. You'll need the matte pale yellow, matte khaki. You need brass, which is for the propellers. Matte white for the life rings there. You'll also have a dinghy there, which will be matte sea grey. So it's matte sea grey. This will probably be the one that I would do. So yeah, and then there's the call outs there. You've got a choice there of decals 156 or 127 on scheme A. Turn them over, and this one here looks a little bit more complex. So you can see that basically these are the same. As I said, the hulls are the same. It's just the decking. This is more up my street, just one colour on top, and then just fill in the matte pale yellow. Same here though, but you've got as most of the decking is the matte pale yellow, then you've got the matte sea grey either side. On top there is also matte pale yellow. The dinghy is also matte pale yellow. Turrets are matte pale. So yeah, you know, you've got a choice there, and you've only got one number at this time, which is the 130, which we'll see in the decal sheet. Nice and close now. We've got the decal sheet, very tidy. As I said, you do have different markings. You've got the 127, or you can do 156, depending on you know, which one you decide to do with the scheme A. And then the scheme B, obviously, then you've only got 130. So fewer decals on scheme B. The common ones obviously are the roundels, RAF, and you've also got the flag there. Good luck with that. Right, we're going to do something different this time. I'm not going to go into the plastic first. I'm going to go through the instructions. So, because apparently people prefer it. So leave it in the comments below what you prefer, plastic or the instruction sheet first. But then again, I put chapters in so you can jump to the particular chapter. So if you want to watch the plastic, it'll be on the next chapter. Again, study drawings and practice assembly. Always do that, you know. Anyway, so basically with this kit, they haven't updated the instructions. They haven't used probably the original instructions when it was first released, because they were all updated in the 80s and 90s. And so basically that's what they've done. They've just reprinted them. They don't spend money on making them better. So you're getting that nostalgia of if you probably would have built it with these type of instructions. Okay, so building up the hull, 3-piece, putting on the stern. You've got your 3 propellers going on, and then you put your stands on. All good. Moving up, you're starting to build up the cabin here on the front. So it looks like that you're building this on top of the decking, which is good. And then you're putting in, are these called rollocks? Please help me. But I know you put your clove hook, your hitch or whatever on there. I think they're called rollocks, but you know, put it in the comments. I like to be educated. Then you're putting some side panels in with some glass, put some sort of bulkhead, then the roof. Building up these little round bore turrets there, which are quite simple. So I presume they're just 2 pieces of glass put together, and put them into the roof of the cabin there. Plenty of glass to go in there, so knock yourself out there. As I said, you've got to do them outside, inside to out. You know, this is a 1970s tooling, because nowadays we normally put them in after, don't we? Always nice. Then basically those subsections, those 3 there make up one subsection. Then that goes on top there, and that builds up the cabin. Got some more pieces there. You've got a spotlight there to go on. Like I said, it is, you know, it's very involved. Each step is very involved, whereas a new scale model instructions would probably be a little more broken down. This is very together. Okay, and that does save on paper as well. Again, you've got choices here of putting in parts, and then you're putting in the funnels there on top. I didn't see where that to. Was that? Let me just quickly look at that. Where's that to? Is that already molded on? Let me have a quick look. Trying to work out what this is here. Looks like it's already molded on, so we'll leave it be then. Okay. And then there's the one of the weapons going on. Yeah, I think you've got quite a few to go in here, haven't you? You've got one. Yeah, you got front machine gun, and on the back for boat number 130, which is scheme B. So I see. So scheme A, scheme B. For boat 130, emit parts 79, 80, 92, and 93. Okay. And they have that in different languages as well, which is quite good. And then basically you're putting all these parts together in here. Funnels, rails, I think. Don't know what that is. And I said there's the weaponry there. And then you have a mast to go in as well. Brilliant. And some sort of railing. And then there's your little dinghy. And again, you've got choices here. For boat number 130, which is scheme B, omit parts 134, 135 and 136. You have to put that in. And moving on, there you've got I presume this is ballast going on here, and around, you know, the cabin there. It looks like it comes with 4 crew, which is going to look good. And there's the flag going on, and just there isn't a complex rigging guide here. It's quite simple, really. It looks like you're just doing 2 up to the mast, 1 down onto the front there of the cabin, and then you've got these bits here to go on. So I think I got that. So on scheme B, that's going onto that rail. So yeah, so scheme A doesn't have the weapons on. I see. So is it? Let's have a look. Or is it B that doesn't have the weapons on? I don't know. I'll have to have a look at B and A. Right. Let's look at it again. So there's A scheme. Launches 127156 English Channel 1944, and that's scheme B, I'm presuming. So yeah, interesting. Right, instructions are done. What I need now is a knife. Let's get the knife, and I'm going to open the bag as close to the edge as I can, because I want to seal this back up, because I'm not going to be building it this week, I can assure you. And out we come. Oh, look at this. We've got one bag of glass, which we'll look at a bit later, but yeah, it looks like we have, that's come off, unfortunately. So yeah, we've basically got two very full sprues here to get you on your merry way, and that's all molded in. So I presume that's some sort of ballast there, which is all molded in, and it's got some texture to it as well. I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, up in the game a little bit. And there again, look at that in there, if you can see that on the camera, if I just zoom in very carefully, there you go, it's got Airfix Products Limited 1978. So we're just getting close and have a look at these sprues. Now I'm just having a quick gander, because I don't think the sprues will be labelled per se. I think they will be all numbered. So here you've got the decking, you've got the roof of the cabin and some ballast. I think that's the rear, or probably the rear there. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, so there is no, with the vintage kits, you have to just keep finding the numbers, because I can see here you've got 14, 16, and then you go up then to 145, 144. That's number 13 there. So 13, 14, 16, 15, 55, 151. So this is going to be a jump, but you've only got 3 sprues to go looking at, but visualize it before you start building it, obviously. And then this one here, we'll get him up close. Whoops, that's falling off, obviously. So we'll get him up close. Try not to have a little nose, and then you can see the figures there. That's getting close to the figures. It's hopefully that will zoom in nicely on those figures. You've got one there with binoculars on. You've got one there with a rope and a life ring, and then these two are wearing life jackets with their thumbs up. So they're happy. And then going through all the parts here, as you can see, there is flash, like you got some miniature flash around the funnels here, but no, you either have flash. I've been told you either have flash or short shot, and you rather have flash than short shot. Not ideal. There's some paddles there. There's your dinghy there, 2-part dinghy, which is nice, with a little bit of texture there, which is good. They have thought about this. I'm not sure what that part is there, but what a shame. I've just realised as I was editing the video that there is a part missing. Part number 92, which is a storage box. You can see it. Basically, it's right there in the middle. So not trying to be a prick about it. You can check, I just showed you that clip there, that it clearly wasn't on the sprue. I've looked in the bag. It's not in the bag. It's not in the box. So that's been sealed with that part missing. It's not been checked properly. And whenever I have a problem with an Airfix kit, it does seem to be these vintage classics. I've been cursed. So if you go back through my videos, the Concorde had missing wheels, and I think it was some gearing. The Bombug had short shot, which I didn't realise until after I started building it. The Rotodyne came with bent props that snapped off. You could, and it wasn't because they're in the bag like it. I just physically think they were just forced in there. It was just human not taking care and looking at what they were bloody doing. So, as you know, I love Airfix. I'm very loyal to Airfix, and I do know that customer service have always been fantastic to me. Even when I've tested the system by going by a different name, I still got the part in good time. So it's not because I'm Moz Models and they know me well. The customer support is fantastic at Hornby when I have a problem like this. So I'll give them a ring this week, and hopefully I'll get the part. So then I can go on and some point in the not so distant future build this kit. Anyway, a little bit of a rant and apologies, but let's get back to the unboxing. It's some sort of ring, so I presume that might be for the turret. There's your side panels there. Not too sure what they are again. Let's have a look, but I presume that's for the turret as well. But yeah, you know, and then we'll just turn them over, try not to make sure. It's very, very flexible, this, so just be a bit careful. And again, looking at the back, you have got detail on the back of the pilots. You know, they're not hollowed out. It's a little bit of flash there. But to be fair with you, it's, you know, for the age of the tooling, it's not done too bad. There's your little props there. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of bleach. You're going to have to just cut them off very carefully before you attach them to the rods. I think that's the mast there. The mast, sorry, not the mask, the mast. So yeah, you've got a hatch there. Yeah, quite a bit there going on. So there you are. But there's your little dinghy there in 2 parts. And obviously there is one side of the hull. So there's that one. And then we'll bring out this one here. Obviously the hull's fallen off in the bag, but let's have a little quick look at the hull. Just get up tight. You know, I suppose that's supposed to be there. Let's look at the other hull, see if that's got it as well. Yeah, so there's markings there. So they are supposed to be there, obviously. You have got a little one here, so I'm presuming that's where you paint up the red. So you've got, you know, some sort of guide there for the red, obviously. Or is it that one there? Oh, it's difficult to see. Where's the call out? Yeah, I'm presuming the red goes up to that mark there. You have got a lip there. Can you see that lip? So I'm presuming red up to that lip. That's not, but that's black, by the way. I always thought they were navy blue or some sort of really dark blue, like blood blue, like, you know. But no, definitely. But there is a little line there. You can see there's a line here as well. So what you do is you spray up. That there is the actual. Looking at this, it looks like that's blue along that raised line there. So we've just sprayed the red from there across. So that's easy, that is. That makes it nice and easy anyway on that. Right, let's move on to this quickly, and then we can see you've got the other side of the cabin there. You've a bit of a bulkhead there. You've got your rail there. You've got a weapon there and little weapons along here. Very, very small. But not too much flash on this. There's a little bit of flash, but nothing that, you know, a little bit of care, a bit of scraping won't remove, or will remove. You've got some hatch handles there. Again, I'm presuming this is ballast, I suppose. Some sort of cone there, which I think is for the mast, actually. Little bits, I think that's for the mast as well. So you've got a few funnels there. You know, it's all right. I'm not too concerned about this. As I said, it is what it is. And for the price, not too bad at all. I love this though. Even the railing on the top there is being moulded in on top of the roof. Look at that. Is it supposed to be broken along there? Is that a short shot? Let's look at the other one. I don't know. There's a bit of flash on that rail, on that one, obviously. I don't know. They seem to... I think they're okay, because there's, you know, there is gaps, but we'll have a little look. Doesn't quite show you one here, but maybe in the instructions, just to double check, so that I'm being very, very thorough with this. Just see if there's any gaps, because it might be short shot. No, clearly you've got gaps there in the railings. One there, along there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it looks like... Where's the other side too? Let's have a look. Don't know now. But it looks like there's a gap there, and a gap there. Which, if you look at this way, turn them around. If you look at it in this way, turn them around, yeah, there is supposed to be gaps in the railings. So there's no short shot there. That's pretty good. So yeah, looking at the pictures on there, I think that's pretty sound. Okay, last thing to look at obviously is the glass, and wowzers, that's a lot of glass. Again, we'll get up close. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get down to the table this time, zoom him in so you can see it really up close to the green. And again, you're looking at numbers here. There's not as actual sprue letter, and you can see there you've got these are raised, unfortunately. Are they raised? Let's have a look. Yep, they're raised. So all raised panel lines on the glass. So it may be that you just put them together and not paint them. I would probably do that, actually, just, you know, not bother to paint them. So you got lots of portholes there to fit. There's your glass there for your front panels. I'm not too sure where that goes. I presume that's in the front as well. There you are. So, and then those two will go together as a pair, and yeah, your weaponry in there, and it's done. I think that's for the spotlight there. It's got, like, if it's just getting personal, get zoom in a bit better here. You can see that it does have detail on that spot lamp. You see that? Do you know what? Maybe this kit was ahead of its time. I'm just looking here. They seem to be missing. Or is that not short shot? How many do I need? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Just looking at these instructions here, 54 into 69. If you count the 54 and the 69, that's 16 parts, isn't it? Yeah, 8 and 8. So there's 16 parts there. Nice. So there you are. Airfix RAF Rescue Launch. Now, this tooling has been, I think, reboxed 9 or 10 times. It's 47 years old. It's worn, obviously, because tooling does get worn. It's not quite yet ready for retirement. I think there's enough there for it to have one more hurrah after this release. But I do know that there's no guarantee when we will see this kit again, or even if we do. That's the beauty of vintage classics. It has been built by many, loved by many. I've seen lots of really good comments from people saying that they can't wait to get this kit. The decals look fantastic. Obviously, cartograph, you know, what more do you want? Slightly redesigned, but kept close to the original as possible. Instruction manual, obviously 1980s, 1990s maybe. So no update or fresh tooling or fresh design of instructions. So you're going in as you would have been in those 80s and 90s. So nothing new there. I've seen pictures of it built up when I've shown them on the screen now. They look great. You know, if you've got the time, the patience, filler, good old sanding sticks, you fancy having a bash at this, I recommend it. And the price, I don't think it's unreasonable at £25. As we look onto the Airfix website now, £24.99. Obviously, if you're an Airfix club member, you get your 10% off. I think shipping's £4 on this one. But obviously, you can go and buy this from your local model shop, and probably from around about the same price. Would I build this? Of course I would. Who wouldn't want to build it? As I said, I can't remember ever building this. I think I did either the Vosper, or was that the Revell Vosper I did? Anyways, I'm tempted to build it. At the moment I can't. I've got 5 kits on the go already, and so this will be put on the shelf. Let me know in the comments box below, do you think this tooling's worth £25? I know money isn't a good gauge of it, but I do wonder whether Airfix have got the pricing right on this one. I think they have. You know, 155 parts, and yes, it's not going to slip together like a modern day Airfix kit would. You'll have to work at it, but sometimes the pleasure in scale modelling is obviously the journey. Let me know in the comments box below if you feel the same. And I think that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, click like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, ring that bell, click all to be notified when I release a new video. Huge shout out goes to my channel members who help me financially with this channel. If you'd like to become a channel member, click join below and select which membership tier you so wish. We have prize draws. We have a live stream every single week on a Tuesday. And it's basically a model club, and we work on our workbenches. You can watch or you can participate by bringing a camera in and filming yourself building. We talk technique, we talk about things that happened in the scale model world. Basically, it is a private members only model club. If you want to become part of that, as I said, just click join. In one of the four corners will be a playlist or other content on my channel that you may want to watch. And I will see you in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your week.